They hosted some of football's most historic matches, and whilst the party might be over, there's big plans for Qatar's World Cup stadiums. Hello there, welcome to Football Now from Doha, where the country of Qatar is calming down after an unforgettable end to 2022. It was a World Cup that provided excitement and drama right through to the very end, and that unbelievable final at Lusail. The stadiums, of course, played their part as well, like this one at Ahmed bin Ali. 8 of them in total hosted matches. The Al Bayt hosted 10 matches in total, including that spectacular opening ceremony. Meanwhile, the competition's biggest win came at Al Tumama, with Spain putting 7 goals past Costa Rica. But La Roja was stunned at the Khalifa International when Japan beat them to qualify for the last 16. One of the group stage's most entertaining games took place at Al Janoub, as Serbia and Cameroon played out a 3-3 draw. Goal of the tournament came at Stadium 974. Richarlison's Brazil enjoyed playing there, having put in a 5-star performance against South Korea later down the line. Messi's magic, meanwhile, helped Argentina sneak past Australia in the knockout stages at Ahmed bin Ali. Education City was electric for Morocco's miraculous penalty shootout victory over Spain. And the Lusail Stadium will, of course, be remembered for one of the all-time great FIFA World Cup finals.
It was like a dream to be inside of the stadium, and once we got the trophy and we were champions, all the stadium was like with lights and gold color, and this was unforgettable. I had like 5 heart attacks in the middle of the finals. It was 2-0 for us, then 2-2, 3-2, 3-3, and then the penalties. It was like I really suffered the final, but I think it was the best final that we could ever have.
So the big question is quite simply, what happens now? Well, the Khalifa International Stadium will continue as the home of the national team, alongside hosting athletics and other big sporting events. The 40,000-seater Al Tumama Stadium will be reduced to 20,000, with plans announced on that in the future. Education City, based in the heart of Qatar's university hub, will act as a facility for students going forward. That too will be reduced from 40,000 to 20,000. But where will all these seats go?
I think a lot of the seats, and the Supreme Committee has mentioned in the past that they're going to be going to kind of sub-Saharan Africa. Stadiums are going to be kind of made for people out there, and obviously some of the stadiums are kind of designed in a very unique way to kind of be broken down and distributed accordingly. So I think that, you know, with Qatar's World Cup, they always have promised, the organisers have always promised to make this a sustainable legacy and make sure that the Arab world, which was so important to this World Cup, is kind of involved in that point of view as well.
Now, as for this place, the 40,000 or so seater arena at the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium will become home to one of Qatar's biggest clubs, Al Rayyan. The country is also hosting the Asian Cup, which is likely to take place around January or February time next year, and the Ahmed bin Ali could well become one of the chosen venues for matches.
So this is the gold standard, in my opinion, the gold standard of stadium facilities. And that's going to be the benchmark for many World Cups to come. And it's part of the legacy. So Qatar has always broadcasted to the world that there's a legacy for every stadium, and that just goes to show the Asian Cup is going to be a following event to make sure that the facilities are utilized, to make sure that the facilities host other events, not just the World Cup.
Now, whilst the majority of these stadiums were built for the World Cup, it's the legacy of the tournament that is hugely important as Qatar continues to grow. Billions across the globe were able to see just how impressive these venues are, but it's the local people here that will benefit most going forward.
So I think the legacy of the World Cup stadiums is very important for the sports industry and the sports culture in Qatar. For future events that will be happening, like the Asian Cup, for example. And we saw how much of a success it was during the World Cup. So I've been covering the local league, the QMB Stars League, for approximately 5 seasons. And they have used the World Cup stadiums various times. And I think it's good exposure for the QSL. It sets the bar, basically gives the players a chance to play on World Cup stadiums. So I think it's all very good, and it's something that we look forward to happening again in future seasons.
Stadium 974 got the whole world talking. The first ever World Cup stadium to be made out of shipping containers, 974 to be exact. So what will happen to the tournament's most unique arena?
I personally think that it's probably going to stay around for a little bit longer than expected. I think now that Qatar's obviously won the Asian Cup for 2024, I think that Stadium 974 is going to form a big part of that, and probably the vast majority of the World Cup stadiums are going to be used again almost for the Asian Cup.
So then, what about the two biggest arenas? Well, the traditional tent-like design meant that the Al Bayt was synonymous with Qatari culture. That's likely to convert into a sports medicine hospital, a five-star hotel and a shopping mall. And so to the final stadium, Lusail, that will be forever remembered as the arena that saw Lionel Messi lift sport's biggest prize. At over 80,000 seats, it was the tournament's biggest, and it's set to transform into a unique community of schools, housing, shops and cafes, completing the legacy for the Qatar 2022 World Cup stadiums.
If I was a young kid, I'd be, well, I'm not a young kid, but I'd be incredibly excited to be there and to see, to realise that you are at a place that kind of touched history almost. It's going to be pretty awe-inspiring, I think, for the next generation, and encourage them to get into sport and to football, hopefully.
So then, plenty of interesting plans for the stadiums that have brought joy and excitement, drama and heartbreak to so many. That brings us to the end of this week's show. Do let us know your thoughts at home using the hashtag FootballNowStadiums, and we'll see you at the same time next week. Bye for now.